Hi, Sag. I was summoned to do this reading. I have no idea why. But, like I always say, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Alright, alright. Here we go, Sagittarius. Sun, Moon, Rising. Okay. It looks like somebody's coming out the other side of something that's been manifesting for a while. They're fated for this to happen. All right. It's like you weren't quite sure if you were going to make it out, but you did. Okay. But you are going to. So I don't know if this is like, if this is a prophecy, like if this is going into the future, or if it's in the past. It's already happened. No, I think this is the future. Somebody could be lying to themselves. Yeah, that's amazing. Blaze one for the nation. Deadline. Everything, everywhere dies. Okay, so it's deadline in reverse. So maybe you think that you're in this awful like position and you don't know if it's ever going to end, right? You're trying to manifest out of it and it's a fucking mess and you don't know like if you're destined to just like, oh my God, die there. Or if you're going to get out of it. Spirit says you're going to get out of it from the looks of it. All right. Possibly in the cold months, okay? Like we are in the colder months right now. So you could be getting out of something very soon. Actually, okay, I was wondering, I had the song Werewolf in my head. By Highly Suspect. And I was wondering if it was going to come into... So something's changing, okay? Your life is changing. And it's moon affected, okay? So moon inflicted. I don't know what the moon is at right now. Usually I'm really good with that. My sister was just talking about, the moon just moved into Aquarius. That I know. So so it seems like somebody's health and safety is at risk, okay? And they could have been deemed a liar, okay? And their fate right now is affected by this in some way, okay? So something has been hiding, okay? And it's been hiding away for you because I feel like there's been this awful kind of like bully situation going around you, and maybe that's how you feel like, am I ever going to be able to get out of this? Like, this person is a bully and I don't know how to get away from them, right? It's very confusing to somebody because it's not an easy situation to just maneuver out of. It actually takes a lot of work to maneuver out of a really tricky situation, right? Especially if there are other people involved. But we've got a bouncer here and a witness. So I do feel like whatever it is that you're going through, okay, the universe knows about it, okay? Like you are going to go on the other side of it, okay? There is hope at the end of the tunnel, And I know you're especially if you're panicking, like, because panicking and worrying about something is almost natural, right? Like we can't really help ourselves from worrying if we don't know what the future entails, right? Because the future is so it's confusing, it's hectic, it's discerning, like it's deceiving, it's working in the dark. How are you supposed to know how to work in the dark, right? Like, I've learned how to work in the dark because of the season change, right? I had to add lights places because I don't want the overhead lights to be on, because it sucks the ambiance away from my readings. I don't like artificial light, right? So it's almost like somebody has been trying to get out of something, and they didn't want to do it artificially. They wanted to do it naturally. They wanted to figure out how they could do it, because yeah, sure. I mean, you can ask for tons of help and you can get tons of advice, but at the end of the day, you are going to do it the way that you want to do it. Nobody can really tell you how to do things, right? Especially if you're an adult. Okay. I mean, taking advice means that you can and are open to suggestion. Okay. I do feel like there's going to be a cutting of the ties, and that's where everything changes. Okay. So when you get on the other side of this really tricky situation, because you've been manifesting for a while and it's been growing inside you for a while, and you were fated for this. So if you've been fated for a change, it is going to happen, right? You've been fated for a change because it's almost like written, I heard, in your blood work, right? Like it's something that is kind of unavoidable. And if you follow your nose, then the things that you're supposed to do that involve mission and that get you places, you're automatically do, because you're so drawn to them, right? So this bouncer comes in, and it's like, man, somebody, oh my gosh, you know what I saw? So I can see this bouncer walking with somebody, and then suddenly all these people start swarming, and then the bouncer has to like pick the person up and like walk away with them, like somebody's obviously in a very, very, very unhealthy situation. Like, when you're trapped in the woods, it is not cool. Okay. It's life or death out there. You can die, you can starve to death, you can be eaten, you can get lost forever, like things in the woods that happen is so scary. So if you've been trying to manifest your way out of a scary situation, it's working. Okay. 7 minutes. Oh my gosh. I feel like that might be the fastest reading I have ever done. Because now I'm like, well, now what? So you're manifesting your way out of an awful situation. It's going to work. I just heard, hallelujah, hallelujah. I feel like I am just going to leave it at that. Like, that might be the fastest reading. Like, there's nothing really more to say about it. Like, I don't want to dive in anymore because there's no reason to. I mean, it's not a personal reading, it's a collective reading. So it's going to resonate with whom it resonates with, like, it's not going to resonate with everybody, but I think it's going to resonate with quite a lot of people that have really been trying to get themselves out of a crappy situation. And they just, because you don't see it, because it's an alien growing inside of you, like, you can feel something, you can feel like that something's off or that something's happening, but you don't know until you see it. Right. So, and if this is what you're fated for, if this is your fate, like, this is what was supposed to happen, this is what's been lined up for you to happen, right? Then absolutely it's working. Absolutely it's working. It's just, it's taking a while because you can't see it, and because it's working and it manifesting in a different dimension, right? And that's where you do things. You work in other dimensions, right? Like, so then you can mastermind plans, and you can get your creativity off the ground, right? And sometimes it all starts with ideas in your head, right? Of what to do. Those ideas, they grow and they become reality for people if they want to use those ideas for good. Right? So, I mean, don't lie to yourself. Okay. Spirit is like, please don't lie to yourself. Like, oh, I can see the little psychic. There she is. Look at that. Look her at the top there, right? She's just above. Was that Carrie Ann? Right? She's just above her, and that's the psychic that comes in and picks up the energy of the house, right? So it's like somebody has picked up, okay, around you, which is why this witness is here. Okay, that you've been put in a really fucking awful situation. Like Heather put you in a situation, like somebody put you in a situation, and I don't think they gave you all the details about everything. So when you started this project with somebody, or when you started this job, or when you started something, you weren't technically told the whole truth. And that's why I think, like maybe if you became a cop or something, and then the DEA came in and recruited you out, or you were in a position and somebody recruited you out and they didn't really tell you all the dangers of what was going to happen, right? It was more or less all like, we're going to make a movie, and we're going to make a documentary, and everybody's going to get famous and rich. Like, that was the fucking hoax of the woods, right? Is that Heather was selling Josh and Mike a dream that this documentary was going to be something, and that she was going to make it the best, and it killed them, right? So like if you've been fed bullshit because you moved into a house that you didn't know was possessed, right, then you are being taken out of it. Like, there is safety. There is somebody coming that's going to be able to lift you out of this, right, and take you to a safe place. And I really do feel like this is going to happen in the cold seasons, right? I mean, if you're in Australia, then it's not going to happen until next winter. You're getting into summer now, although you might have some cold days ahead. Huh. Now, it's the unexplained happens because, you know what, honestly, we can't explain everything that happens. We can't explain how energy moves all the time. We can't explain miracles. We can't explain things that have no definition, right? And I know that everybody wants a definition for something. They want to know why something happened for a reason, right? And the thing is that sometimes you will never know why things happen for you and why things don't happen for you. And the only thing I can say is that sometimes we are sucked into illusions, and we go and we do it because we're not quite strong enough to see that if it was that easy, everybody would be doing it, right? Like, that's the thing. And the thing is that if it was easy for everybody to get out of really dangerous situations, then we wouldn't have cops, we wouldn't have firefighters, we wouldn't have engineers, most of them, we wouldn't have fucking crane operators, because those are some of the most dangerous jobs that humans can ever do, and yet they do it because they pay good, right? Like, not really because anybody wants to do them. It's more or less like, well, I do it because of the money, and if they weren't going to pay me this, I wouldn't be doing it, right? So, like, if whatever you got on the other side of, you definitely wouldn't be doing it if you weren't getting paid for it. But it doesn't mean that you're supposed to be there and that it's healthy to be there, right? There's definitely a troublemaker around you. There's a bully around you. And they're trying to sink you, they're trying to pull you into something as some type of liar. And I mean, you can only tell people to back off so much. Like, maybe this is somebody you work with, and they're sabotaging you in some way, and you just keep telling them to back off, and they're not backing off. Their energy is so strong, right, that it's almost getting into your energy. And that's why something has to change, because you're better than that. And that there are deadlines. That when cycles are supposed to end, they do end. Right? And you believe in that, which means when it's ready to cut the ties, when you're ready to go on the other side of this, no one's really, I don't think anybody, I do kind of feel like the people around you might go really cold, right? They might think that they've got it all figured out as to why you left, but they don't know anything. Okay, really what they're left with is a lot of superstitions. Okay, a lot of like, well, we think it's this. Well, oh, you think it's this? Well, I think it's this. It's a bunch of bullshit, okay? Because the thing is that the people around you were all a witness to something, okay? And they could be panicking, like people could be panicking around you that they're gonna lose their position because of you. And that's why you're like, okay, I got to get out of this. Like, I don't want anybody to lose their job. I don't want anybody to lose their position. If you all are supposed to be here, trust me, you're going to stay here. I'm the one that's going to go, right? Because when a deadline comes, you got to understand that, like, you can't hang around, right? When your job is done, your job is done. Just like a nanny, right? right? When the kids are old, you got to move on. You know, like if you lose your job, you got to move on. Like there are other people that need your help. There are other jobs available and there are other places to go, right? Like definitely. And being stuck in confusion is the worst, right? When we're stuck in confusion, we really have no fucking idea what we're dealing with. Like it is so hard. You can't see in front of you if you try. All you see is cloudiness, darkness, blurriness, right? Of trying to fucking get your way out of something that seems so hostile and so unbelievable that no one's even going to believe you if you tried to explain it. So why even try to explain something, right? Like, but you get to cut this out. It gets snipped in the butt, right? Because you are all about good vibes. You're all about sending goodness out. So if people have summoned you to a dark place, then yeah, you get to come out of that because you're not what they are. You're something different. You're what the world needs here. And if we need you here, and if people are trying to jeopardize that, then the universe is going to get you safe because you're worth saving one person and pissing off 100 than not going for it all, right? It's almost like, you know, you've got the abilities and not a lot of people do. Not a lot of people can do what you do. And if you're fated for this, then it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time, right? So like, don't panic if you can, you know, if it's meant to be and you're really trying to get something off the ground, I really do feel like it's going to work. Right? I don't know for sure. Like I really feel like this is a more spiritual kind of battle, right? That people will get there. It just takes time and it takes a lot of effort and it takes you showing the universe that you will fight, right? Like you will fight, like you deserve, if something deserves to happen for you, then you know that you've got what it takes to fight for it. Not a lot of people do. So sometimes you got to let these little babies run all their energy out while you stand in the background and go like, okay, so any second they're going to burn out and they burned out. So now I can go back to normal, right? Like, because people are so dumb, right? They always think that like the fastest person that does it's the one that's the best, blah, blah, blah. No, it's actually the one that strategizes the most on how to get there with using the less amount of energy so it doesn't kill you overall, right? Like, oh, and that's why how you're trying to get out of this is a good way, right? You're letting it grow, okay? You're allowing something to grow while it kind of takes you over a little bit, but you're just following the path. You're following what you need to follow to get yourself to a safe place. So no matter what you do, I really don't see this not working for you as long as you're set with the plan to move forward. Then these people are screwed, right? And maybe they're not screwed. Maybe it's just, you know, like energy changes, okay? Energy changes and new people come in and then those new people become the regular people and then those regular people become the older people and then they move on too. Like you're not destined to stay in one place all the time, right? You do have other things to do and you do have new people to connect with and you do have new jobs to make and you do have new friends to make and new relationships, you know? If it's not right, it's not right. And sometimes it becomes not right, but it doesn't mean it wasn't right when it started. It just means that maybe you've grown apart. Maybe you two have separated and you're growing something that doesn't include some other people in your older life. And that's fine, you know, or your younger life, you know, like that's fine. People are supposed to move on, right? Not everybody's supposed to stay glued to each other forever, right? Like, it's just, that's not reality. People are supposed to die. They're supposed to move on. They're supposed to, you know, like not call you up every day. Like, and you'll meet new people that need you. Like, so anyways, this was a really awesome reading. This is manifesting your way out is working. So that's really how I want to leave it. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all the subscribers and everything. You know, like this channel truly, honestly means the world to me. So I'm gonna fight until the bitter end. Okay, like I will always fight for this channel. I will always fight to do these readings. Nothing is gonna keep us from growing and growing and growing and growing and growing and reaching more and more and more people, like little fireflies in the night. Just go out with all these messages to find people, to make sure that people know that people and God is listening and their universe is listening or their angels are listening and people can hear them and they're not alone, and that will help you through, you know, finding your way out of the darkest point in your life. Because trust me, you're not the only one and you're not the first one. There are many people that have to get guided out of the light. There are many people that try to manifest a safe way out of dangerous situations. right? Especially dangerous situations where it's co-workers or it's family that are trying to hurt you. Like the universe doesn't want to see you get hurt. If you're not an asshole, then you shouldn't be treated like one, right? And if people are taking advantage of you and then lying that it's your fault or that you make them do it, you make them hurt you, that's the wrong way to go. So anyways, great reading. We ended up going to 20 minutes. I kind of had a feeling we were going to, but it was a pretty clear message. Like if people stopped watching after 10 minutes, I understand, because it really didn't change. We did get into a little bit more of it. For the most part though, it didn't change. And I think it's all good. I really don't want to talk about anything or like vent. The reading that I did, oh man, that last reading, I basically just took it out of me. So I'm done. I'm kaput. Thanks for everything. Thanks for your messages and your emails and your likes. And thank you for subscribing. And thanks for all the great things you guys do. It's amazing and such a good journey. So thanks to everyone. Have a great day. Peace out. Word to your mothers.